if you're that comp. You gotta fight, 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 and just win those fights.
Yeah, they're going to have to really get up in the team's faces and see what they can pull off. They're going to have to rely on their cheese factor in those matchups, assuming that they can hold their flanks down. We see the Zimmy and Luna just trade out there as well, and both sides are really just trying to ensure that their checkpoints are guarded. And interestingly enough, no one's really gone for the traditional great plays either by going on their respective right paths.
I mean, if you go for that great play, you got to remember you're very, very exposed. So you're gonna have to resort, or you're gonna have to divest a lot of in resources to making sure that the Rainmaker stays protected. And so far, just say for the last about 30 seconds to a minute, it's been a very neutral fight. Miki there just barely getting a pick on the dualies to stay alive, and for so far, other than those first couple of pushes in the first minute in the game, neither team has been able to push up at all.
Yeah, all we've seen so far is Cheese Factor getting a solid checkpoint cap on the enemy side, but there it is. There's that right play. They're trying to get up on Snipe and see if they can make that jump, if at all possible. Mio moving gradually forward, getting points on the board. They make the jump. The crab
Uh-oh.
goes down, and this might be
Uh-oh.
it.
I mean, it's looking like
Oh,
it, but at the last second, the Zinc Mini shines for Cheese Factor, and they managed to get most of the members of Ghistra out of their base. And now the question becomes, can you go forward? Because now all the pressure is on their side. They're on their back foot. So the Crab's gonna go down. That's very, very bad for you. That's another 2 down. They've been pushed back to their base, and so far, it looks like Ghistra is gonna try to keep them there for as long as possible.
yeah, for sure. We're seeing on the side of Ghistra just them trying to gradually move up here. The Carbon trying to contest that Rainmaker, and once again, like a lot of very close matches. Oh, and the Crab trying to
Oh
dodge the Killer
no.
Whale.
Yeah, it looks like unfortunately it's gonna be it. The bubble there to protect the Rainmaker, and that will be game for Ghistra.
Actually, I think there was a minor issue on our part. Just want to make that clear earlier, where Cheese Factor, I believe, was actually the winner of that match. Double checking once again. So our apologies, I think, on that.
First thing, they really want to defend their first checkpoint. They don't want that to fall because the earlier that falls, the more opportunity the other team has to keep scoring. It looks like for both sides, no changes, so they feel comfortable with
Yeah.
what they got.
Yeah, so we got Cheese Factor in the orange, Ghistra in the blue, I believe. And this is going to be really quick already as we see both teams contesting for that Rainmaker. Mio on the stringer in the back, trying to watch the enemy's ramp as we see Orange starting to get moved back a bit.
I mean, yeah, Cheese Factor is gonna go 2 down. Thankfully for them, the Stamper is only gonna get 1. But this is a really good opening if you're Ghistra with basically nothing but green grass in front of you. The Rainmaker is being painted and the Zuka's coming out. This is super dangerous for Cheese Factor because right now, Geyser can just keep on going. They're gonna do that to
Oh my
40, to
gosh.
30, to 22, and it took until basically they got right to the entrance of that little hallway where they're gonna get stopped.
Yeah, Mickey doing a similar play as what Mio did last time, although just with under the first minute of the match, basically. Bring it down to a solid remaining 22 points on the board. And now we're going to have to see Cheese Factor do a really tough job of trying to move up the Rainmaker from there.
I mean, yeah, they are going to be pushed back because right now, Geister has been doing a really good job of playing around their comp. They've been taking these fights. They've been isolating the members of Cheese Factory. They've been making sure, like right there on Poyo, just going down, they've been making sure that Cheese Factory takes bad fights. That's a good fizzy there to get a nice kill. The Hammer, though, is going to get another one. And so far, if you're Geister, you're liking how this is looking. You don't really have to be super aggressive. Yes, it is advised that you do push, but you can kind of stall for time. You can let the panic set in for Cheese Factor before you feel really threatened to do anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And like looking here, we do see a few points go on the board, and they're looks like they're taking the left great route. Very risky, but they do pull it off. We'll have to see if they're able to try to sustain any sort of pressure or push though from that.
I mean, they managed to get the checkpoint. That's great. But now it becomes, can you do that again? Can you repeat that? Can you have repeated success? Because once you've done it once, well, now Geister knows what you're going to try to do. If you go 3 down, they're going to take that great route. But yes, the Rainmaker checkpoint going down is very helpful in that. But now the question becomes, can you keep yourselves alive long enough? Can you make sure that Cheese Factor doesn't have to think about that left route because they won't have the time to?
Absolutely. And looking here, we do see Gystra doing a solid job of trying to gradually edge their way up with the Rainmaker, playing the slow game and trying to see if they can just keep Cheese Factor in their base and not get too many more points on the board and just really stall out.
I mean, they won't be able to do that long. The Rainmaker is about to explode without 7 or 9 seconds left. But right now, they just got to make sure they get it as far into the base as possible, and they're going to do just that. But with a little over 90 seconds left to go, Ghistra is looking really strong. They are looking to just keep this lead, to keep Cheese Factor in their base, and to make sure they can't do anything. And that's a good start with Miki just going into the bubble with no regards and getting one, getting two. Only the dualies left. The
Oh, the
bubble
bubble!
is just gonna be right there. So now this is really dangerous for Cheese Factor.
Oh my gosh, and really the junior player doing a great job here of just stalling out that match time and really getting not necessarily the points on the board, but the pressure and taking that time, that really valuable time away from Cheese Factor to get their own points on the board. And they have to work all the way out from their base now and really paint up mid to the best of their ability, which Ghistra has a great position at, like, holding and maintaining.
I mean, yeah, they do, but unfortunately for Cheese Factor, they did go in just a little bit too fast. They tried to apply some pressure on Ghistra before the whole team was ready, and they did go 2 down. So that really does stall out the members of Cheese Factor. They do have 2 specials at their ready. They have the Crab and the Bubble. So if they get the Mini in a good spot, that Bubble could be super dangerous. Never mind, Mini's gone. but yeah, so far Cheese Factor, the panic is starting to set in just a little bit because they have 19 seconds left. They have 1 special to go, and they have to get at least something on the board.
Yeah, for sure. And when you only have 8 seconds left, 6 seconds now left in the game, it's really going to come all down to it. And unfortunately for Cheese Factor, they only have 1 player actively up in mid in their bubble, and that's going to be the game in favor of Ghistra.
I mean, solid game from Ghistra. They played how they wanted to. They got into the face of Cheese Factor, kept them uncomfortable, and kept it rolling. So with that, they will win the set 2-0. However, this is a play all 3. So if you're Cheese Factor, there's a silver lining. I mean, I could see that for Museum. I think I think it's good as a good. Oh, it's overall good. But I think my main problem with it is that a lot of it comes down to the ramp, right? It
Yes.
comes down to which team can have better control of their ramp, which team can take their ramp easier. Yes, technically you can go from mid to that first checkpoint, but in order to do that, you need members on plat already to paint up paint up the plat, and how they're gonna get there through the ramp. So a lot of that really revolves around the ramp. A dually squelcher for the side of Cheese Factor. Okay, you know what? Don't see that weapon all the time, but you know what? I'm a fan.
Yeah, for sure. So moving into this match here, Cheese Factor with that dually squelcher, that's going to be interesting to see. Not too many changes outside of that, but starting the match off, we already have a trade down in mid with the Luna and Splatana Stamper players respectively, and really the Stringer player once again doing a great job of holding the fort down for Ghistra.
I mean, yeah, they're doing a really good job, but Poyo here is going to be forced back. But I think this is the real beauty of Cheese Factor's comp. They can just outrange you, but the second I say that, Zolter just gets a easy double kill and keeps Cheese Factor away from their plat. But for the most part, if you're Cheese Factor, you have a lot of range. You can really play around your team, try to go for double kills, or not double kills, for 2-on-1s, as Zolter is continuing to get just kills that they need to. And Cheese Factor are going to be pushed back to mid. They had a good chance to get something going, but they're not going to.
Yeah, when it comes to Zolter, again, doing a great job of getting the picks that their team needs in order to hold down their side of mid. If you have the range, it doesn't really matter if you can't actually fully back that up and get rushed down. So props to Zolter for figuring out how to work around that. But as we see right now, Cheese Factor locking down that first checkpoint with an aggressive jump across mid from the spinner. And now we're at a standstill once again with Ghistra stuck on their plat, trying to get some more pain up in mid and take some fights.
I mean, and I think that's what they need to do. They need to take fights. But again, look at Cheese Factor's comp. They don't really have a lot of weapons that excel at fighting. Yes, they have the Stamper, but other than that, the dually squelchers excel at being really mobile, being a distraction. Heavy Edit, you got Cooler. Zinc Mini, you got the bubble and some just defense. So they don't really have a fighting comp. They have to take full advantage of what they're good at, which is outranging. And so far, if they're backed up against the wall, if they're forcing these close range engagements just like that, they're gonna go down. And Mio, with a clear path, dunks the Rainmaker with so much paint on Cheese Factor's plat. They could just keep on going, and they're going to.
Yeah, Gistra's done a great job overall this whole set of kind of playing it slow and steady when they need to. As you saw, the Rainmaker there did a great job of just not necessarily rushing in, getting the picks they needed, taking the spaces they needed before walking right in with their team, and also letting the team help escort them up. Fantastic job of doing that, and was able to land them ultimately that check-in. Now we already see them at 35 with Cheese Factor now being the one, unfortunately, stuck in their spawn, and they're gonna have to keep fighting it back. Ghistra, as they keep getting points on the board.
I mean, this is deja vu from the last game. Cheese Factor is pushed to their plat. Hoshi gets it a little bit further, tying the neck a little bit more, getting it down to 2. Cheese Factor, they are gonna pop, or they are gonna have Cooler, but with how far back they is, I don't think they'll be able to really capitalize on that and get something going, as Zolter on the plat's gonna get found out, and the Rainmaker, thankfully for Cheese Factor, is gonna get reset.
Yeah, Cheese Factor is really going to need a lot of that space to get brought back into mid and really just bring the fight there and not have to worry about a potential flank from their end. But as we see, Cheese Factor already 2 down. Snowball stuck in the far right corner, unfortunately going down mid-jump. That's not what you want to see when you're at this point. The heavy edit player from Cheese Factor doing a great job of trying to stall just a little bit, but the Rainmaker is still moving ultimately. And even though you only have the Carbon up actively, the Carbon has clearly been a menace this whole set for Cheese Factor, so they're going to have to keep watching out for Zolter.
I mean, at this point, they only have 45 seconds left. The Rainmaker only has about 35 seconds left. So if Mio could just stay alive, again, there's not a whole lot that Cheese Factor can do. Snowball is gonna get a kill, 2 down, a lucky bomb kill. But look at it, with how far back they are gonna have to fight the whole length of the map to get close to taking the lead. Because at this point, they need it's knockout or bust.
No, absolutely. And when you're in that position, 2 points, like, yeah, you have to get that knockout if you want to win. And unfortunately for Cheese Factor, there's only 10 seconds left, and they're 2 down. So, and when you're fighting still in your base, you have to figure out a play to make something happen here.
I mean, they're not going to be able to. Mio just picks it up to make sure that there's no overtime. And that will be Ghistra with a really, really strong opening for this tourney. 3-0, very good wins for them.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit right before the set started, but these were actually both these teams both had players from Division 10 Ludi Season 15 teams, so and both respectively also have had recent low rank beta and gamma results where they were able to go relatively far and get some nice sets under their hands. So clearly both of these teams did a great job of kind of showing what they were made of, what they could make happen in the moment. Like Zolter, big shout outs to them as well for holding down the fort with their Carbon. And wow, yeah, that was a great set. And I might be looking out for these teams in the future.
I mean, yeah, we're gonna have to. But with that set being over, we're gonna take a quick break as we let the rest of the teams get finished with their sets before we hop into round number 2. So stay right there. We'll be right back.